Sorry, good afternoon everyone. I'll just give it a moment for everyone, give it a moment, sorry, for people to tune in. So as usual, give it a minute or two. Hope you're all doing well. Firstly, I'd like to start off by thanking everyone who tunes in and thanking everyone who watches on the replay. I have seen people do watch on the replays, and thank you. I do appreciate people watching. I do hope people are picking things up and taking something away from this and learning something from it, with any luck. Anyway, so because if they're not, then I'm not doing a very good job explaining or teaching anything. All right, I guess we'll get into it. So tonight, not today, it's tonight. Tonight, what I wanted to start touching on and what I wanted to talk about is opportunity, means and intent. So these are the three things you need to tie together to explain any actions you take in response to self-defense. So if you don't have the opportunity, means or intent, or one of them is missing, then when you start looking at your use of force, like your 462A, or trying to justify your actions under your Self-Defence Law 322K, under the Victorian Crimes Act 1958, you're going to have a lot of trouble unless you can articulate what you've done. And a lot of this too, some of it is about knowing and seeing. There's a big part that's about knowing and seeing it and being able to recognise it. And the second part of it is about being able to articulate it later on, so that you're really covering your bases and not just being seen as hitting someone for no reason, for instance. As I said in the last week in the video, law is very funny in that respect, and the jail is full of, well, apparently everyone in jail is innocent. But unfortunately, innocent people can end up in jail just due to the nature of the fact they cannot articulate properly what they've done and why. So we'll break it down. We look at opportunity. Opportunity is, as it states, the opportunity for the person to do what they're saying they're going to do, or to do anything, for instance. So if someone says they're going to punch you in the mouth, and they're up within arm's length, or just out of arm's length, they can step in, and then they've got the opportunity to do this. If they're standing on the street corner across the road, or half a block or a block away, screaming about how they're going to punch you, they don't have the opportunity. They don't have that opportunity to punch you. They're nowhere near you. So that's opportunity, but then that can change too. I mean, this is very dependent on circumstance. Now, for instance, if someone said they were going to shoot you and they had a gun and they were across the street, unlike the punch there, they do have the opportunity now. They can get you. So that's a different thing. So you're starting to weigh things up. So for instance, if they had a hammer, again, if they're across the street, no. But if they're within a reasonable distance, that they can close that distance and hit you, then they have the opportunity to do what they're saying they're going to do, or what they're threatening to do. When you look at means, so if someone's coming up to you, so they've got the opportunity, they've got the means, so if they're getting threatened, I mean, and let's just get it straight, they don't have to say they're going to hit you. But if they're getting aggressive, they're showing signs, and they get within your distance and they're like this and they're firing up, they've got the means by very virtue of the fact they've got hands and feet and a head and elbows and knees. That there is right means within a certain distance, bang. If someone, again, says from a bit of a distance, so they're not hitting, they're not within touching range, like, oh, well, I'll shoot you. Well, if they've got no access to a firearm, they don't have the means to carry this out. If someone just goes, oh, well, I'll stab you. If you don't see the knife, they don't have the means. That being said, if they talk about stabbing you and a hand goes like that in a pocket, or they go like that, and these are around the appendix area, the nape of the back, so they go like that. They're very common concealed carry areas. So if they sit there and go, well, mate, they say they're going to stab you and a hand goes in the pocket, you can justifiably say, even if you don't see the knife, that you believe there was means there. And you can justify that by the behaviour you're seeing. You know, so if someone fires up, I've always said to people while working on the doors and stuff, like, sir, please, take your hands out your pockets. Oh, I'm not doing anything. That's fine, you may not be, but it makes me nervous. I might do a whole different video on hands again, because that's a whole nother subject. But that starts looking into the means. So the person has to have the means to do what they're saying. And then there's the intent, which is the big thing. So if someone sits there and says goes, mate, I'll knock your fucking head off. But they're not, you know, they're a reasonable distance away. And they're just firing off. You know, they're saying things that's getting a bit heated. But you can sit there and go, you know what, I can see you getting upset and you're right. Look, maybe I'll just back off. We'll come back to this conversation tomorrow. You know, as opposed to, you know, if they're showing intent by moving in, closing in distance. You can also argue, again, and this comes down to body language, what you're seeing and stuff as well. So if you ever did say preemptively strike someone, you know, and you've gone boom, can you, you know, they don't have to say they're going to hit you, but you have to explain the intent or why you believed reasonably there was intent there. So just having an argument with someone doesn't reasonably, you can't just go boom, snot them, and then claim reasonable intent. But if you were sitting there, for instance, say, you've stepped back, you put up your fence, you're creating distance, and they close in again, and you're stepping back, or you've given them a bit of an educational push, you've pushed them back, and you step back, and they come in. So signs you're going to see, the redness, the sweating, the bulging, pulsating veins, puffing out of chest. You know, a big thing you'll see is when people blade off. So blading off being they turn back, and looking like that is another huge indicator. So if you see someone look like that and you watch, you see their fist clench, all of a sudden you've got, you know, it's like that. Now you can start to explain, well, they've got the opportunity to hit you, they're within distance. They've got the means to hit you, they've got a hand, and they've obviously got the intent to hit you, or you can reasonably believe they've got the intent now to hit you, because they're blading off, they've clenched a fist. These are the signs that start to happen before they're hitting you. Or, for instance, they sit there, you're getting into an argument, a hand goes in the pocket, especially in those areas where, I say, like, they're like that or back there, but any pocket, you know, you want distance. You know, if they start pulling things out, so you get into an argument, they actually do pull the knife out, then they've got the opportunity to stab you. They've got the means, obviously, you know, and the intent is there. But everything with opportunity means an intent, and these are the ducks you have to line up and be able to articulate why you're lining them up, because these are the things that are really going to justify that what you're doing is self-defense and not just unlawful assault on someone, which we did touch on the video with 322K, where people say, oh, well, I was in fear for my life. And I did say you need to be able to articulate reasonably why you come to that belief, because just saying it isn't good enough. And how you reasonably come to that belief is through your opportunity, means, and intent, and being able to explain that and what you're seeing and why you've formulated this belief. Because without doing that, you know, then you've got nothing to lean on, and what's going to be seen is, well, what you think is self-defense. If you can't line these up, it's not going to be seen as self-defense. It's going to be seen as unlawful assault, which means that you're now in the position where you're seen as the criminal or the person who's broken the law. So that's why it's very important to understand all of this stuff. I really can't stress it enough. Like, everybody loves the idea of doing drills, stress scenarios, learning techniques. And look, that is fun. It is great. It is helpful, I believe. But it's very important that you can articulate as well and learn all of this stuff as well. So learning the law, learning about the use of force, and learning about things like opportunity means an intent, sorry, so that you can justify why you've had to go hands-on with someone or why you couldn't just walk away. So another thing is, like with self-defense, you've got to sit there and say, well, I went like this, I created space. I tried to walk away, the person kept encroaching on my space and following. They kept closing in, they kept yelling, their voice was loud, they were making threats. You know, they've started to blade off their body, they've clenched their fist, they've leant in at me. You know, they've gone like that looking for flinch responses, and, you know, even like their stance, they've pulled a leg back. So you see that leg come, sorry, I'll get there. So you see the leg come back into like a fighting stance. So these are all the things you start to say. Or you say, look, I created distance, and then a hand went in a pocket as they lunged forward towards me. So there, you've got the opportunity, the means, the intent. As opposed to, like I said, if someone's across the road just yelling like an idiot, you just sit there and go, goodbye. There's no need to stick around. You know, if you stick around yelling back across the road, you inflame the situation, and that person then may get upset and then decide to cross the road, and you're creating a situation there where, in a way, you're giving rise to that, which, again, it makes it harder to argue self-defense in anything. Anyway, I'll keep this one short and sweet. Let me know what you think. Any comments or queries, just let me know. Then, sorry, I'm just looking through the comments quickly. Anyway, what I'll do is I will answer comments, queries, just shoot them through. If you find that this video is useful, please feel free to share it around with our friends and loved ones. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, stay safe. Thank you for watching.